Let's talk Steelers. It's kickoff time for the Cigar International's Let's Talk Stil'rs show. Sponsored by Cigars International. Stop by our Bridgeville store today. Parking Chair Vodka. Respect the chair. It's a Pittsburgh thing. Forest Lodge and Campground. Cooks Forest, PA. Your adventure starts here. Visit Canton, Ohio. Red Fox Winery and Lounge. Let's talk Steelers.
Huddle up, Steelers Nation. It's Tank and Mike. Let's talk Steelers. Mike, we're here in our new locker room, Cigars International, Bridgeville. Are you even a cigar guy like I am?
No, I'm not. But it's like the Art Rooney's, locker room.
You know how many cigars?
He's probably smoking.
He's sitting right over there. The ghost of Mr. Rooney's right here at Cigars International, man.
Mr. Ford used to smoke in our locker room.
Did he really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Johnny Unitas or so. Why Tittle?
Oh, they all did back then.
Smoke. Did you smoke in the locker room?
No.
You should have. You'd look great hanging with a camel out of your mouth. Hey, let's talk about your Pittsburgh Steelers. July 3rd, 1778. The eastern part of the state. It was called the Wyoming Massacre, Mike. The Iroquois Indians, they tore into the Revolutionary Guard. They ripped them up and they tore them apart. Why am I bringing up?
Yeah, where are you going with this?
Because that's what it was like when your Pittsburgh Steelers tore up the Colts last week. It was the 1778 Wyoming Massacre all over again. Did you expect your Steelers to rise to that level defensively?
You thought the game... It was one of those ones that something's coming. Something's coming. Is it going to be this week against the Colts and that run game and that O-line and how hot they've been? Was it going to be that game? You weren't sure, but the defense stepped it up. They got the new addition. Rodgers, the offense has been doing fairly well. They're doing things great. They need that defense to step up. They need the defense they've had the past few years because the offense is kind of rolling right now.
Look, much maligned and rightfully so. Your Steelers dumped games against the Cincinnati Kitty Cats. I won't even get into the other debacle. The whole city turned on Mike Tomlin. The whole city turned on this defense that was supposedly going to be the best defense in the league.
Personnel-wise, they got some
personnel-wise.
But, I love what Jalen Ramsey's doing. He's phenomenal. He's not only is he a great player, but he's a great leader. And you've got a great leader. He's a veteran. You got a great leader there. You got Cam Hayward. You've got T.J. Watt, the old Steelers. You got some of the new veteran leadership with Jalen Ramsey. And then you've got the new leadership with Aaron Rodgers on the offensive side of the ball. So, to me, it's a great recipe right now.
It was a winning recipe come Sunday down there at Acrisure. I'll have another drink stadium. Jalen Ramsey stands up on Saturday night, talks to the team. That's what a veteran leader will do. Mike, no matter how good you are, occasionally in this game, it's an emotional game where somebody's got to reach inside you and say, you're better than this. Had you ever seen that in your career where somebody stepped up?
And that happens, especially when you've got a veteran like Jalen Ramsey, who came to the Pittsburgh Steelers looking to win a Super Bowl, or at least have that opportunity. And, Rodgers is not just playing for, let's just go out and have some fun, one last year. No, he wants to win a championship. That's why guys play. And the older you get in your career, you realize those chances start to run out. And I think Jalen Ramsey's starting to realize, hey, I don't have too many more years as a corner left in the league. So, it's time to step up. Hey, we got to change this. The defense is the staple of this team, and it's not this year. And, the offense has been doing their job, and it's time for them to step up. So someone needed to say something, wake these guys up.
By playing zone. They helped out Cal Duggar, who just got here on Thursday. That bore fruit because Daniel, he was looking like the next coming of Johnny Unitas for the Colts the last couple of weeks, and they made him suffer.
Yeah, and then you saw Peyton Wilson step up and do some things as well. So what happens is when you show maybe, so much blitz on film, and then all of a sudden you throw a little change up, maybe show blitz, fire a zone, drop a guy. Now all of a sudden the quarterback's expecting one thing. He gets confused a little bit. He starts feeling a little pressure. I got to get it out, but do I have to get it out? Do I have that pressure right now? And so sometimes you're forced to make some bad decisions. based off that. And then sometimes you were able to, confuse the O-line on who's actually coming, and he does force it out, but he throws it into a bad spot. That's what happens with a lot of those fire zones.
Let's talk about the cheetah, Peyton Wilson. The reason I call him the cheetah, when he first came into Latrobe, he was decidedly faster than the other linebackers. He is quick. He is mobile.
Well, he's the modern-day Brian Urlacher.
About 40 pounds lighter than Urlacher, but I'm loving this guy.
Well, is he, or did Brian Urlacher just wear the bigger shoulder pads back then?
Because we did have bigger shoulder pads
right now. So I played against him, and he was a big dude, but he was fast, and that's who he reminds me.
I love the analogy. One of the things that the cheetah did, which was I just thought fascinating, came off that slot blitz. Next thing you know, he's causing an interception. The young kid, young Tom Sawyer, or whatever that Rush song was, Sawyer gets the interception. Peyton Wilson was all over the field. He was locked. We didn't even talk about shutting down their star running back. He's locked up on Jonathan Taylor one-on-one, breaks off man coverage and goes over, makes an interception. Just a beautiful game for Peyton Wilson. 12 tackles, was on the field most of the time. This is what you want to see in a rising star, no doubt.
Oh, of course. When they drafted him last year, to me, I thought that was the steal of the draft. They got him in the, I believe it was the third round. Was it his third?
Well, he had that knee injury, so they were saying, maybe.
Again, his size, he immediately reminded me of Brian Urlacher. You could see his speed. You see his size. He can cover receivers. He can cover tight ends that are the modern day guys that are like the receiving tight ends.
Mr. Warren was supposed to be all that.
But he can also come up and stick everyone as well. So,
I love it. That's a linebacker. Mm-hmm. Problem was also for the last couple, use the Cincinnati game again, the defensive line. Mike, you're still coaching on the high school level here at North Catholic. Defensive side of the ball over the last several years, you've seen a technique which I'm coming to hate. You see your defensive linemen immediately engage with the offensive linemen, and they read off of it. Mm-hmm. They're reading off of it. I know it developed out of the RPO. Let's hook onto the offensive lineman, find the ball, and read. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. You did not see any penetration from the Steelers' defensive line last season, earlier in this year. They got away from that. This game, when you look at the defensive line, instead of locking on all the time, they penetrated. They picked a gap. They went in. They got into the backfield, which opened it up for the linebackers. It opened it up for the other defensive linemen. I can't stand that technique of grabbing on and holding on.
Well, yeah, I'm not so sure that's for the RPO game. I think that's more for just the zone run game. They're trying to get the zone run game, trying to see which way the back's going to go and feed off. But again, what you're talking about is kind of like more of the modern day football. Like, hey, go penetrate and then let your linebackers clean up.
It's called defense, but it's not
you got to stay in your gap. You got to stay in your gap, and that's the key.
I loved it, and it bore fruit this week when you looked at Benton, when you looked at Cam, had a great game. I want to finish up this segment because there was talks he was even on the trading block. Let's trade for a wide receiver to complement that guy Metcalf there. Highsmith, maybe we don't need him. Maybe he's fallen off. Highsmith had a heck of a game.
Well, yeah, and I don't think you need to go trade in any defensive guys just yet. You've got, in addition, there's guys out there that you can go get. Like, they got Valdez-Scantling. It's a Rodgers guy. He's a vertical stretch guy, a long strider. So you want someone to take off the top of that defense. That's who you got right there. And you still have Metcalf that can work the underneath stuff. And then all of a sudden you got Roman Wilson coming on along as well.
All right, that's our first segment. Let's talk Steelers from the locker room here at Cigars International in Bridgeville. When we come back, we're going to talk more about that Steelers offense. I'm going to ask you about the old warhorse, Aaron Rodgers.
Who is that man with the big cigar? He's known around from near and far. That actor man with the big cigar. He puffs away every night and day with a twinkle in his eye. And all the while, behind that smile lurks many an untold lie. Down Whitehall Way, you'll see his car. He's here, he's there, he's everywhere with the big cigar.
Rocking Chair Vodka. Respect the chair. It's a Pittsburgh thing.
Lawrenceville Distilling.
Let's Talk Steelers.
Welcome back, Let's Talk Steelers. I'm Tank, he's Mike. We're here at the locker room in Bridgeville, Pennsylvania at Cigars International. Mike, November 22nd, it'll be a year anniversary since Cigars International opened up. I was here for the big party. Are you coming that day? Or
I'm
you
sure
don't like?
you will be. No, I mean,
Everything I have smells like cigar smoke.
Yeah.
I smoke like 10 a week.
Yeah.
So I'm in a perfect setting.
yeah.
You
To each his own.
You and your sensitive allergies.
I don't mind it. I played a lot of golf with, Lawrence Taylor, and, he's always smoking a cigar, so it doesn't bother me. It's just, I just choose not to.
All right, I just choose not to. Well, it's a free country, the last I heard. In fact, it's such a free country. Your Steelers offense, Mike, at times they look spectacular. The weapons are there. I'm going to say it again. Arthur Smith should not be the offensive coordinator for the Steelers. Let Aaron Rodgers call this offense. Let him audible at the line of scrimmage. This offense is ranked number 23 in the league. Worst rushing offense in the league at 698 yards. Dead last rushing. Passing is just above the worst of the worst in the league. I do not like, going into last week's game against the Colts, everybody was asking defensively, is it scheme, is it personnel? Well, I'll throw that out to you right now. This team seems to be, to me, underperforming offensively. So is it personnel or is it scheme?
Well, you've got the big playmaker on the outside. You've got the veteran quarterback. It could potentially be O-line. Could be. I mean, I think Jalen Warren's doing a great job, running the football right now. He's great offseason. He's pulling soccer goals. He's doing a phenomenal job with that. He's carrying the load. And with Rodgers, is it Arthur Smith? I mean, you're calling plays. Rodgers, when you got a veteran quarterback with the amount of football he's seen, you can even go back to the Hard Knocks when he was with the Jets and he's in his cadence, grenade team, he's like, hey, back up, you're not coming. So that's just who he is. He knows what the defense is doing. He's like, you can't even come. So he can see the scheme. He's probably like, all right, we got the angle here, we're good to go. But are they doing their job? I still think they're a little soft on the up front. They can be a little better, and that'll help it out. Now, as far as the play calling, what are you going to do differently? Well, I mean, is it
Jonnu Smith? Let's start there, okay? You brought Jonnu Smith in as a tight end to conceivably be a second receiver to Metcalf.
Then you see
he's totally unusing him.
Well, again, we're not in that locker room. We're not in those meetings. Maybe he's not as healthy as he could be. Maybe he's getting a little long in the tooth because Freiermuth's been the guy that stepped up. They try to force it to the other big guy for a little bit, but he's just not the smoothest. He's probably going to be converted to a tackle at some point. But you've got Freiermuth, you've got Jonnu Smith, you've got Metcalf, you've got some of the quick and shifty guys. I mean, having big guys out there is good, but they're like having extra O linemen out there if they can block properly and get that run game going. But at the same time, if you're gonna keep those big guys out there and the defense is gonna keep their smaller guys out there, you have to run the ball. If they're gonna sub in some bigger defensive guys, now those guys are gonna have to get open. I think that's what they're trying to do. But at the same time, maybe those guys aren't as good, as they thought they were going to be. So maybe it's time to get some of those quick, shifty little route runners in there because you have Metcalf. You're going to get Valdez-Scantling to take it up the top. Maybe work in those, the young Roman Wilson and those type players to.
Well, number 19 had a great game last week. Let's take a step back. You talked about maybe the offensive line isn't as good. I hate to keep bearing on it, and I hate to keep beating it up because he's a great kid. I can't say it enough. Broderick Jones is out of position. He is not a tackle in this league. He is a guard.
He was very soft on the pass rush this past week. He's getting a little too quick.
He gets blown back immediately.
And he's got to be a little bit more firm.
And you got Khalil Mack coming this week against the Chargers.
Yeah, obviously you're going to have to slide to him or chip him or, do something with that. But the thing is like you can't – listen, I'm all for letting the quarterback call the plays at the line. But that's dangerous because now all of a sudden it becomes like, hey, let's go air raid time. And that's just, naturally what quarterbacks want to do. Now, will Rodgers do that? No, he's not going to do that. But, Arthur Smith, maybe lean on some of his other guys. You've got, the quarterback coach Tom Arth in the building who has seen a lot of football. He was Peyton Manning's backup. He knows the West Coast system, studied underneath Tom Moore, so he has some knowledge as well that could maybe help out. So again, I don't think it's Arthur Smith. I think it's probably more, are we getting it done? I mean, look.
You're not. You're 23rd in the league. You're not. You're last in rushing.
Let me tell you something. They're not the smartest group of guys. Like, no disrespect to them, but they're young guys. You got your 42-year-old quarterback throw a touchdown, and then you tackle him, which would have been a penalty because you throw all your weight on him.
I'm looking at Bruce Arians is on the TV right now behind me on the Pat McAfee show. I'm going to tell you something right now. If Bruce Arians had this level of talent, all right, they would not be ranked 23rd in the league. They'd be about 10. He would look at his assets. Rodgers still has game. He still has quick release. You now have two bona fide running backs with Gainwell and Jalen.
Maybe they realized there was some struggling going on in the defense. Maybe it was playing like, hey, let's keep away from the defense. Let's try to control the clock. Let's control the ball. Let's not give the other team an opportunity. I mean, it could be some of that going on as well. But I'm just telling you, to me, I think they're playing it just a little close to the vest. They're trying to keep things close, and then they feel that they can win the game in the fourth quarter.
All right, when we come back, we'll be talking about the Los Angeles Chargers. It's still really hard to say Los Angeles Chargers, but we're going to preview the matchup with your Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Los Angeles Chargers.
Who is that man with the big cigar? He's known around from near and far. That actor man with the big cigar. He puffs away every night and day with a twinkle in his eye. And all the while, behind that smile lurks many an untold lie. Down Whitehall Way, you'll see his car. He's here, he's there, he's everywhere with the big cigar.
Parking chair vodka. Respect the chair. It's a Pittsburgh thing.
Lawrenceville Distilling.
Let's Talk Steelers.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Steelers from Cigars International, Bridgeville, Pennsylvania. Join us here November 22nd for our first anniversary party. It'll be great. This place will be filled with smoke and people being happy, listening to music, drinking beer, all the things I love. You'll be eating granola, walking through the woods probably. What you do on weekends, I have no idea.
Let's just get to the show. Come on.
Right? If you watch the show, if you listen to our radio show on Fox Sports Radio, Wheeling-Pittsburgh, a little bit. For your quarterback, you're too good looking. Somebody's going to pick on you. You know all the time, I love offensive line play. Mike, I talk about it all the time. I know it upsets you.
It doesn't upset me. I love offensive line. Trust me.
Because they kept you upright all these years.
Players on the team. Typically, they don't get the credit. That's the thing.
That's right.
O-line, they don't get the credit. They don't need the publicity. They go about their business nice and quietly. And they don't get the praise. And so, it's too many times, even helping coach and stuff, I'm like, hey, man, these guys need the credit. They're doing a phenomenal job. We don't give them enough praise because when they're doing their job, it's just quietly. You only really go after them when they're doing bad. You don't say, oh, they're great. No, you go after them when they're bad, but, that's the thing. I love the O-linemen. They're the most valuable position on the field.
There you go. How was your line when you played for the Lions?
Yeah, we're all right.
There you have that. All right, why am I talking about offensive line? Well, because I have great hope going into the Los Angeles, so hard to say that, Los Angeles Chargers game, because this offensive line for the Chargers is decimated. It is beat up. They paid the highest amount of money an offensive lineman's ever been played to, or Sean Slater, their left tackle, that blindside tackle, big, huge contract. He get out for the season, earlier in the season. They moved their number one draft choice from last year from right tackle to left tackle. Joe Alt. What happens to him, Mike? He has a high ankle sprain to start the season. He got another one last week, Mike. He's out for this season. They've played at least 7 to 8 different guys on this offensive line. And the guys that they do have starting, their right guard in particular, he grades out on the old Tankers book at about a D-. A D-.
The Tankers book trumps the PFF, right?
Yeah, every week too. And guess what? If you go to PFF, they say basically
the Tankers book.
They say basically the same thing. Guess who their right guard, who grades out in my book at about a D-. Guess who he's lining up across from next week? A guy named Cam Hayward, who had one of his best games of the year last week. In fact, that whole front came to life. It was like somebody threw a bunch of steaks into a lion's den last week, and they went absolutely crazy on their front seven. That offensive line for the Chargers is definitely their Achilles heel. Mike, I don't know how you get around that banged up of a line, that bad of a line, even when you have a great quarterback like Herbert.
Well, that's the thing. He's going to have to probably maybe have some QB design runs, get the extra hitter in the box, maybe scramble a little bit, but for the most part, get the quick game, passing game going. Try to get the ball as quick as you can, slow down the defensive line rush, try to wear them down by getting the ball out quick so they don't, and then that way you can eventually take your shots. But, they've got a big, young tight end. They've got Keenan Allen. They've got Ladd McConkey. And, they've got some weapons. It's just, can they get enough protection to maybe find the one-on-one matchup? And I think Herbert, he's a phenomenal quarterback. He's going to be around this league for a long time. He's kind of like, to me, he is the top of the young guys. He's the modern day Aaron Rodgers. And, he doesn't take off and run as much. He's been doing a little bit more this year. You talked, you saw, Collinsworth talk about it a couple weeks ago when, like, hey, you should take off and run. You're a little bit more productive, this and that. It's probably because of the O-line. He's usually looking to get down the field. But if you're dropping guys and he has to escape, he's going to have to take off and run. And then he's going to have to protect himself.
No doubt about it. And the question will be this. Will the Steelers defense that lost to the Kitty Cats in Cincinnati show up? Or will that defense that proved itself capable last week show up again? Mike, I tend to think that at the professional level that now they've done it, now they've showed what they can do against the best offense in the league in the Colts. that they don't drop up at this point. Again, we talked about what was wrong with the Steelers defense a couple weeks ago. Was it scheme? Was it personnel? Well, after last week, you found out decidedly it was scheme.
You're going to have a chance to win games.
You know what Danny Smith is getting for Christmas?
Some gum?
More bubble gum! All right, we'll see you next week. Let's talk Steelers. I'm Tank. He's Mike. Come to Cigars International in Bridgeville, Pennsylvania. We may or may not be here. Here, you wait here.
Who is that man with the big cigar? He's known around from near and far. That actor man with the big cigar. He pops away every night and day with a twinkle in his eye. And all the while, behind that smile lurks many an untold lie. Down Whitehall Way, you'll see his car. He's here, he's there, he's everywhere with the big cigar.
Parking chair vodka. Respect the chair. It's a Pittsburgh thing.
Lawrenceville Distilling.
With that great football team.